Hey, what's up guys? It is Michael Pineda with Tech Examined. The other day I unboxed the Shure VP83F shotgun microphone. And a couple people were like, well, where's the samples? Fair enough. So let's go ahead and actually get into doing some samples between my current setup, the H5, and the Shure VP83F. Now, if you do watch my videos on a daily basis, the H5 is what I use when I'm in front of the camera. So I want to conduct 3 tests today. The first one obviously being what I use the most, which is the mic overhead. The second would be to mount this and the H5 on the camera itself. Now admittedly, the H5 is not currently set up for that. They do have a shotgun mic, but I want to show you the differences for what you get for the price of the Shure and what you have to tack on to the H5 just to get the same setup that you're going to have on this. And the next test we're going to do is the desk test. If I have to do a voiceover or something like that and I want to keep it consistent with being in front of the camera, I will use the H5. So we'll do those side by side and then flitch back and forth, and then you can see the differences between the current H5 and this, and then we'll go over pricing. So let's get to it. Alright, so I did film that intro with the H5, and I'm going to lead off with the H5 set up right above me. Now the nice thing about the H5 admittedly is the screen is easy to see. I can look up at it and I can see where my levels are at before I start shooting to know where I'm at. Admittedly, it was not so easy with the Shure. I did have to plug my headphones into it to get a nice feed so I could tell where I was at as far as the volume went, and I did do a little tinkering around. But once you get it set, you're pretty well good to go. But I am going to have to do the same thing for on top of the camera, which I will have to do for the H5. So it is a little bit of a nice thing to have that right there. So let's switch over to the Shure. Okay, so right now we are on the Shure mic, and when I went back and listened to the settings when I was trying to do it, I definitely noticed a more in-close sound for the Shure as opposed to the H5, which kind of picked up a little bit more ambiance of the room. Now that is because of the setup of the microphones that are on there. The Shure H5 does have the Y-axis, and you can adjust it based on different settings that they have for that. Now, of course, they do have a condenser mic, which is a round head, and a shotgun mic as well. So you're going to hear a little bit of a difference on that. But the big thing with this is the versatility of the Shure, because you have all that already when you buy it, and it's set and ready to go. Whereas the Zoom is you have to go ahead and spend extra money to get the attachments that you want to do, so you end up spending a lot more to get really what you want, so you might be happier with the Shure because of its versatility. So let's switch over to the camera setup, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so we're going to start this off with the Shure microphone, which is mounted on top of my camera, and I'd say it's about 2 feet away from the camera setup. Now, again, preface this by saying that this is a shotgun microphone made specifically for having it in front of you, keeping the ambient noise away, so it's a little bit more direct, whereas the XY setup for the H5 is going to pick up a little bit more around us. They do have parts for this where you can take the piece off and put it back on, but you know, again, this does have many positives to it, but one of them is not the accessories. I feel right now that the Shure, you get what you get. It's set up and you're ready to go. You don't have to buy different mics for it, and it's very versatile. So there are, again, many positives to that. So let's go ahead and switch these out to do that. Now, one thing is that has a hot shoe on it, so it's easy just to slide in. It's got a thread on it, so I could have mounted it up top over my boom arm. The H5 is a different story. So let's go ahead and switch it up. I'm going to set it up and get it above the camera, and we'll tell the differences. Okay, so right now we are on the H5. I do have it mounted above the camera, and you know, there's a shotgun. You can screw that into the top of the camera as well. So again, this is a little bit different for this. I wish I had the shotgun to try it. Maybe I'll pick it up just to see how it works and the difference. But you know, when you're working with and what you have, you may not necessarily be the 100% correct tools. But again, I preface this by saying, you know, you have the Shure microphone, which has that, and it gives you the ability to do a little bit more as far as that goes, in my opinion, without having to add things on. The good things for the H5, of course, is that adaptability to change that up. If you do want an XY setup where it is above you and you want a little bit of ambient noise and you maybe not want it so tight in there. Some people may not like the way that that Shure sounds. Of course, we have the XLR outs on that to plug into for a microphone, and the ability to expand what you're doing with that and getting your audio right in there. Unfortunately, with the Shure, that's it. You don't, have a handy microphone you can use for that. So that is the H5 on top of the camera. Let's go ahead and do the quick desk test where we're just talking into it with it right in front of us and capturing what I would do for a voiceover. Alright guys, so this is generally where I would be and how far away I would be from the microphone if I was recording on my desk for a voiceover. Now you can see here, I've got the shot here to my side, but I wanted to keep it directly on the microphone as I would be talking to do a voiceover. So you can see that, it is down from me, so I'm speaking over top of it. A little bit different than I would if it was over top of me. So you do get a little bit a different feel for that if you're recording. Now, of course, I'm sitting at my desk and I want to do that. Could I have the boom mic over top of me and record? I probably could, but isn't always the case. I like to just keep it minimal to do that. So that is the H5 on the desk. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Shure microphone and see the differences. Alright guys, so right now we have the Shure microphone, which again is the same distance as the H5 was. Now of course the H5 I can simply stand up, whereas the Shure I actually have to hold it because it doesn't really have a level or flat surface on that to be able to record. But the distance is the same. I probably could get something real easy to hold this up on to be able to record for that, so I would give a little bit of an edge to the H5, but of course I haven't gone back and listened to it to see exactly how much better or how much worse it sounds with it on the desk. So let's go ahead and just switch over back to the face-to-face after I give a quick listen to these, just to give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I went back and listened to both of them, and I really feel that they are just worlds apart when it comes to what you may or may not like when it comes to a recorder. And something that I knew was going to happen with the H5, you were going to get more of that ambient noise, whereas it would be a lot broader. But the compression on it really sounds good. Of course, that's what I'm using now is the H5. Whereas the Shure is a lot more compact, and it may not have as much bass on it. So you can change that in post, but do you really want to mess around with that too much as far as all that goes? Now, what I did was the last clip, I actually took and modified it and added a bass compressor, a brightener, and I think some sort of compression to mess around with it. But let's go ahead and just throw that up right now, and you can do that. Now, I'll just sit here and listen with you and just talk as we go. But listen to that right now. Here's the original. Alright guys, so right now we have the Shure microphone, which again is the same distance as the H5 was. Now, of course, and let's switch over to when I changed it. Alright guys, so right now we have the Shure microphone, which again is the same distance as the H5 was. Now it is a little bit different, and I did spruce it up a little bit, but you may not like the idea of it being that quiet, I guess you want to say, but I think if it was a little more compressed and had a little more bass, I think it would sound better. But that's just my choice. That's my preference. You may like that better, and it may come off better. I feel like it did pretty well on top of the camera, but over top of me right here, I think the H5 did a great job, as well as at the desk. But again, they just sound completely different. What I'd like to do is actually get the shotgun version for the H5 and try that out. Alright, so let's talk price real quick for these. The Zoom H5 on Amazon right now I saw is $269. I'll put that link down below. But then you think about things that you want to add on. You're going to tack on a few $100 more on top of that if you want to get the accessories. But that is a really good price for that and the quality that you get. Now, as far as the Shure goes, I did see it on Amazon for $299, And again, it's all about preference as far as what you want to do with that. It is a little bit more expensive, but again, you're set, you're done, you're good to go, and it has a couple versatile things on it. Whereas the Zoom, you can expand it in different ways, adding microphones, using it as a field recorder to be able to do that. If you would like to see more tests on this, I was thinking of maybe doing something outside in an uncontrolled environment to see exactly how they work off. If you want to see that, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And of course, comment down below. We can get a discussion going on these. What was your favorite? What did you think? And if you have any suggestions on me recording this, definitely let me know. I'm always looking up to learn something new. And of course, to get the next video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you guys for all the support. That is it for me, guys. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.